With the announcement of a new CLP-700 series, we were so excited to get our hands on the CLP-785, the flagship model from Yamaha. Today, we're going to be looking at some of the awesome things that make the CLP-785 the coolest new digital piano. Let's check it out. Hi, Patrick Marr with Alamo Music Center in San Antonio, Texas. You can find us online at alamomusic.com. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our YouTube channels, check out our other videos, sign up for notifications, like our videos, sign up for great content, leave us comments. We'd love to interact with you guys. Well, today, like I said in the intro, we are so excited because we have a brand new CLP-785. It's been very hard to get our hands on one of these. It's been one of those things that was announced so long ago, and we've been expecting it, but 2020 happened, and it's been very hard to get inventory, especially the new models coming from great manufacturers like Yamaha. We're really excited today because we get to play, for the first time ever, the CLP-785. We love the 685, which was the previous generation, the CLP-685. It was a favorite among teachers around our area. It was just an incredible feeling instrument that introduced that GrandTouch feel to Clavinovas, to the CLP line, which I really think is the shining star of Clavinovas. Of course, you have the CVP line, which is a little bit more technical and a little bit more of a, I would say, a creation machine. It's really fun to mess around on CVP and to use accompaniment and use different voicing and interact with the touchscreen. It's great. I love the CVP line, but for a pianist, I think the CLP line checks all the boxes. It's not only designed beautifully, it looks almost like an upright piano, a nice, sleek, modern design, but it also is built for an acoustic player who has to maybe use a digital or who wants a digital in their office or in the studio, something that they don't have to tune, something that will last and will feel great and feel like an acoustic instrument. So what Yamaha has done is they've added some great features to the existing 685, and they've made the brand new CLP-785. So if you're looking at the models and getting confused, don't worry, a lot of people do. But this is the flagship model. There is the 735, 745, there's going to be a 725, and then there's the 795, so that might sound like an upgrade to the 785, but the 795 comes in that grand piano cabinet, and it's really a 785 with that additional beautiful cabinet that makes it look a little bit more like a baby grand piano in a nice, small, compact size. So the 785 has all the great features that are the top of the line for the line of the CLP, the new CLP series. We'll start with the Real Grand Expression 2. New for the Clavinovas for the 700 series is this RGE2 is what they call it, Real Grand Expression 2. Yamaha is claiming that this adds even more dynamic control where the smallest touches will still react exactly the same as a grand piano does. So you're able to play very quietly and very loudly, and you get that feel of, hey, the more I play into this, the more it responds to me. And with that GrandTouch action, you really feel it through the keys because you're playing with solid wooden keys. They're longer than any of the models that the Clavinova series has ever produced, the longest key. And when you look at a grand piano, the keys are very long, so the farther they can make those keys, the more pivot point you have, the more dynamic control you're going to have over the instrument and more nuances you can play into it. This is the GrandTouch. If you move down to the 745, it's the GrandTouch S. So this is the fully robust GrandTouch feel. They also added something called Grand Acoustic Imaging on this model. And so that's different than on any of the other models. The acoustic imaging is really to bring what a grand piano sounds like. It's a modeling, basically. It's acoustic modeling, and so it's able to replicate what an acoustic piano would be doing, a grand piano would be doing, but you're in an upright design. So if space has been an issue for you and you don't have room for that grand piano, they wanted to bring it to you in a digital piano. So it's really a 3D interactive sound modeling that makes it sound like an acoustic instrument. And so we're going to try it out today and listen to that and really kind of pick it apart and say, hey, does this sound like an acoustic grand piano? Yamaha continuously pours into their research and development to bring the latest and greatest technology. And they've done that again with their samples here. So the CFX sample and the Bosendorfer sample, which the Clavinova line is famous for now because Yamaha had purchased Bosendorfer in the past, and that Imperial grand piano, it's super, super expensive 9-foot Bosendorfer, and the Yamaha CFX, another super, very expensive 9-foot Yamaha. They've taken samples of those, but not only for while you're playing it out with the speaker, you have a binaural sample. And so the binaural sample is going to be throughout the line here, but the binaural sample is basically they've stuck a dummy, a crash dummy, you know, and they put microphones where your ears would be. So if you sit there and put headphones on and get the binaural sample out of any of these Clavinova lines, it's playing what your right ear would be hearing in front of these 9-foot pianos, what your left ear would be hearing. And it really kind of makes you feel like you're there present with these amazing instruments. So they've upgraded the binaural samples not only on the CFX, but they've added it to the Bosendorfer, which on the previous generation, the 685, it did not have a binaural sample on the Bosendorfer. But it was something that people were really asking about because it was so cool to hear that on the CFX in that previous generations. They've added something called forte pianos onto the Clavinova series. So in the CLP-785, you get 2 voices. On this one, you get 4. We're going to check those out. We'll play them for you. But also the control panel on the new 785 is beautiful. It's something that disappears if you're not using it. It looks like it's just a black screen on the left cheek block. So we'll show you guys some pictures of that. But it really, when you go to activate it, it lights up, and that's when you can change voices, change effects, split the keyboard, get to the control panel that you've seen on previous generations. But when you're not using it, it disappears and kind of lets the instrument feel less like a digital in-home digital piano. That's just a really cool feature that Yamaha added onto this generation, kind of just letting the natural beauty speak for itself, especially in a wonderful cabinet like this one that looks like an upright piano. This is the only one in the line that has this full-bodied kind of upright look. Everything else is going to be a lot smaller. You also get, of course, the virtual resonance modeling, something that's been on previous generations, but that kind of replicates what a piano does, all the small nuances that happen when strings resonate at the end of a passage, or what the soundboard is doing if you're holding 2 notes down and then you strike a chord in the lower section. Those strings are going to resonate. It does really cool, very advanced things that replicate a grand piano or an acoustic instrument. And then they've also added something that they're calling the grand expression modeling. And the grand expression modeling is replicating what the hammers do and all the little small mechanisms that go off in the action. It's replicating all that to bring you the most acoustic feel that Yamaha has ever produced. And they really stand behind that as this is the best acoustic feeling digital you'll ever hear or play. And so we're going to check it out here in a second. Let's take a look and a listen because I'm really excited to finally play it and to see what I think. And if you guys haven't tried it, please go out, try to find one out in the store. I know it's very hard to get your hands on one right now, but just very excited to play this new 785. Let's check it out. What an amazing experience. Hearing that full acoustic imaging is very cool. I've had the opportunity to play the 685. I've had the opportunity to play the 585. I really think Yamaha has definitely, again, stepped up their game with the 785, adding some of these modeling sounds that you don't usually hear from a digital instrument. Really just a full, nice sound, especially with the speakers on this. The speaker box is unique to the 785. It's a very high-powered wattage system that just sounds super full when it's in the room, when it's against the wall, when it's out in the open. It kind of fills the space. So you just get that really just nice, crisp sound from the 785. Something that we didn't talk about was Bluetooth features. The Yamaha has added to this Clavinova line Bluetooth MIDI control, which in the previous generations was hard to find. You weren't able to use Bluetooth MIDI to control things like their piano app, and it's Smart Pianist is the Yamaha app. But now you're able to control these instruments without having to plug it in with a wire. So they have Bluetooth audio and they have Bluetooth MIDI, making this very versatile. You can play music out of it, especially with one of the nicer models like the 785. You get a huge, amazing sound if you're streaming music into it, and it turns into a beautiful sound system wherever it is. So if it's in your front room, if it's in the living room, if it's in your office, you can use it as a very high-powered, state-of-the-art, amazing sound system. So yeah, it's an incredible instrument. We're really excited to finally have it here in the store. We're going to be comparing it against some other models here in the future, so make sure you're checking out our videos. The CLP line, the 700 series. This is the flagship, the 785, and really excited that this was the second one we got in. We've done a video on the 745. Make sure you guys check that out. But we can't wait to bring you guys more content on the new Clavinova series. If you've played one or if you have one, you're one of the lucky people who have one here early on in 2020. Let us know what you guys think about it. Let us know the things that you love about it, because it's really something that I think people are going to have for a very long time. It's going to last, and it's an incredible instrument. And I think Yamaha, again, has done a great job with a product release, especially in their flagship model. We're Alamo Music Center in San Antonio, Texas. I'm Patrick Marr, and you can find us online at alamomusic.com, where we have a chat agent available. If you have any questions about the Clavinova series or any digital piano, please don't hesitate to ask. We also have any instrument you can think of, so feel free to ask any questions that you guys have about the musical world, and hopefully we can help you guys out. Thank you guys for watching,